Welcome to Dead Giveaway. I'm Billy.
And I'm Carly.
This is a two-part podcast. In episode 1, I will tell a true story, but change the names and locations to try and see if my true crime-obsessed wife can discover the truth.
In part 2, Billy reveals the answers, and we will discuss the details of the case. Will I get it wrong, or will it be a dead giveaway?
Hello and welcome back.
Hello.
That last episode was pretty weird, right?
Very weird.
Yeah.
I it was just, my brain was going in a million different directions of, this person looks really bad. No, this person looks really bad.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Before we get into this, happy Thursday. Hope your week has been going really well. And
just one more day.
Yep.
Until the weekend.
Yep. Friday. Oh, man.
I wish we would have never.
Poor Rebecca Black.
I know.
Poor girl just wanted to make a music video and just have fun and became a viral sensation.
And here we are making fun of her 12 years later.
I'm not making fun of her. I'm singing it legitimately.
Oh, I sing it legitimately too all the time. The kids think it's horrible.
Sure.
Yeah, every time I sing it, they're like, "Oh, please
song.
stop."
It's most definitely not a good song, but it is what it is, you know. But not to go down
that rabbit trail.
Okay. All right, we're going to get into this because I'm going to give this one to you. You hit the nail on the head right at the end of the episode, and I had to mask a lot of things for this. And
it was the Dexter Killer?
It was the Dexter Killer.
I knew it.
Yes.
Right after I said the boyfriend, I was like, this sounds a lot like... I think Keith Morrison did like a whole like...
His name was Mark Twitchell was the killer.
And he was a filmmaker.
He was.
Wasn't it in Canada?
It was in Canada.
Okay.
But did you get the dead giveaway?
Oh, no.
The name that I put in there was Jen Erso.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because he did a Star Wars movie.
He did a Star Wars fan film.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to kind of get into this here. So long before he was dubbed Mark Twitchell, the Dexter Killer, he was just a kid in Edmonton with a deep fascination for fantasy worlds. But before make-believe, for Mark, make-believe was not just a phase. It was like his identity. Mm-hmm. He wasn't just a fan. He was fully immersed in the stories. He built props, wore costumes, and gravitated towards stories about power, secret identities, and obviously moral duality.
Yeah.
And while other kids were out playing sports, Mark was in his room crafting movie-quality replicas. Yeah. So as a young adult, he leaned fully into that identity.
Yeah.
Even driving with a vanity plate that read Dark Jedi.
Oh, boy.
A nod to his obsession with the darker mythology inside Star Wars.
Yeah. I mean, you would do it if you could.
Oh, I love all things fantasy and nerdy, but
and
I'm
especially
also...
Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
Growing up, that was like one of the few movies that wasn't like a cartoon by Hanna-Barbera that I was allowed to watch.
Yeah.
So that was amazing.
Without the Bible box or whatever it's called.
That was much later.
Oh.
Yeah. This is like, mid 1990s.
Oh, okay.
My parents were taping made for TV films and, TV edited versions of things. And they would go in and like edit out, bad scenes or curse words and
Which can be pretty shocking when you go into your adult life and you're like, oh, let's watch this movie with our children. I used to watch it all the time when I was a kid.
Exactly.
And then you hear all the F-bombs in the world.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
It was shocking.
Yeah. Woo! That was a trip. That was hilarious.
I was like, your parents let you watch this?
Yeah, and I'm going, I had no idea, honey. Oh, man. Okay, so getting back into it. So in 1998, he enrolled in the radio and television arts program at Northern Alberta Institute of Technology. Classmates later described him as intense and ambitious. He could be charismatic when discussing film, but very distant when the conversation moved beyond it.
Yeah.
He had a reputation for embellishment as well. If something went wrong, a missed deadline, failed production, group project, he didn't do his part, he often responded with anything but an apology, and it was oftentimes a very elaborate explanation. Even then, storytelling wasn't just something he did, it was how he managed his reality and how he managed tensions or stress or adversity when things happen.
Can't take responsibility.
Yeah, especially for confrontation, that's how he managed to work around it.
Yeah.
After graduation, he launched a small production company and aggressively pursued filmmaking. Online forums like theforce.net and Rebel Scum became platforms where he promoted his projects, and he would defend them ferociously.
Yeah.
He described his fan film Star Wars Secrets of the Rebellion as ambitious and cinematic. He even brought in actor Jeremy Bullock, who was the character who played the original Boba Fett.
Oh.
For a cameo. He invested heavily in production costs and presented himself online as a rising auteur. So by 2007, he was married with a young child and trying to stay in the image of both family man and filmmaker.
Mm-hmm.
Financial strain was mounting. The Star Wars project had stalled, leaving him $60,000 in debt. That was money that he spent that he didn't have. And around the same period, he began expressing interest in darker subject matter and was watching Dexter religiously.
Yeah.
He wrote a short horror script titled House of Cards and rented a detached garage in South Edmonton, telling family and friends it would serve as a film set.
Mm-hmm.
That garage would become central to everything that followed.
Okay.
So if you want to understand how he saw himself, there are some message boards to look at. Again, theforce.net, Rebel Scum. These sites were ones that he was on religiously. Like, this was his little kingdom in this. So for him, this isn't just a hobby. It's where he tried to manifest his destiny as a Hollywood player. And on these forums, Twitchell didn't just post like a fan. He posted like a CEO. He used theforce.net to promote his film, Secrets of the Rebellion, describing it as the most ambitious Star Wars indie production in history. He bragged about using professional green screen technology and interweaving complex plot lines like how Han Solo won the Millennium Falcon, things like that.
He sounds like he's very full of himself.
Oh, he was. He was most definitely full of himself. He was known for being incredibly defensive of his work as well. If a commenter questioned his budget or his timeline, he would fire back with detailed, often condescending explanations that he wasn't just making a fan film. He was correcting George Lucas's mistakes in the Star Wars universe. And on some boards, he went by the handle Psycho Jedi. While it seemed like a typical edgy internet name, looking back, it feels like a kind of hide in plain sight name. Like he was just telling the world exactly who he was, that he was a man obsessed with power and the dark side, years before he ever even ventured that way and rented the garage.
I can't get over he's correcting George Lucas.
I don't blame him on that one. I'm sorry. There's a lot of crap that should have gone differently in Star Wars.
All right, okay.
I'm just saying. There's a lot of fans who agree.
Okay.
Don't get me started.
All right, okay.
In 2006, when promoting Secrets of the Rebellion, he wrote on theforce.net, "Since we follow true format, there are 2 or 3 things going on at a time, and that all interweave back and forth, and then will collide at the end while still having something to do with one another." On Rebel Scum, users began questioning the legitimacy of his production. Mm-hmm. When one user mocked the physical appearance of the actor playing Han Solo, Twitchell snarkily replied, "Don't you know? He had it done to match the noses of the new Clone Wars animated characters. It's all the rage, man." Just something stupid, yeah. He often posted under the idea that sheer willpower could manifest reality. In a profile for Videomaker, he was quoted saying, "Nothing is beyond your reach if you commit to it. Focus on it and don't let go until you get it." Yeah. So he was very ambitious, really striving to do this, but clearly he was not quite right.
Yeah.
When you've got somebody who's hyper fixated on this, you have one of 2 ways, right? Yeah. It's going to go and they're going to excel.
Right.
Or what
they're going to crash and burn,
exactly.
and then there's nothing left for you.
And for
because
somebody
that's everything.
like him who can't take responsibility,
right?
That's
the blame goes
going to be turned outward, right? So there was a character that Mark had been trying to play, and that was the devoted husband and father. So to his wife Jess, Mark wasn't a psycho Jedi or a failed director. He was the partner that she had married in 2007. And by the fall of 2008, they had an 8-month-old daughter.
Okay.
So imagine the scene in that St. Albert home. It's Mark changing diapers, eating dinner with his family, playing the role of proud new dad.
Yeah.
But even this was just a performance. While Jess believed he was spending late nights at his rented garage to finally catch a break in the film industry, Mark was actually meticulously preparing a kill room, very much like Dexter.
Yeah.
This wasn't his first attempt at domestic life either. He had a previous marriage to a woman named Megan Castrella that ended in 2005. Even then, the patterns were there. There was constant lies about money, constant lies about his career, constant lies about his whereabouts. He didn't just lie to the internet. He lied to everybody around him, and even to the most intimate people who share a life with him.
Yeah. It's like he was living an unreal life or playing a part even in his life. He was still playing a part.
So getting into, the fall of 2008, the family man sat down at his computer, got off the Star Wars forum, and created a profile for a woman named Sheena on Plenty of Fish.
Okay. Oh, so Sheena is the one that he...
Yes.
Okay.
Sheena, that was another dead giveaway, was Sheena was actually the name that he used. Yeah.
Okay.
In the fall of 2008, the production began, but he was not looking for actors for, roles. He was looking for victims.
Yeah.
And posing as the woman named Sheena, he spent hours crafting the perfect honey trap he needed to be someone who would attract these men. And he also needed someone who wouldn't be missed immediately. He needed someone who would follow a script without question. And on October 3rd, he thought he found that with the first attempt with Gilles Tetreault.
Oh yeah, didn't he fight and escape?
He escaped.
That's right.
Yes. So Gilles was a computer tech, a really nice guy who thought he'd finally got a break with a beautiful woman.
Poor guy.
He was given an address, a small nondescript garage in a quiet Edmonton neighborhood. And when he arrived, he didn't find Sheena. He found a darkened room lined with plastic sheeting and a man standing in the center wearing a black hockey mask.
Yeah. And he chased him down the street.
This is where Mark Twitchell's movie logic met the real world. In the movies, the victim freezes. In movies, the stun baton works instantly, but Gilles Tetreault didn't follow the script that Mark had planned out.
That's right,
and when
he didn't.
Mark lunged at him with the stun baton and a plastic prop gun, Gilles fought back with the strength of the man who thought he was looking at his own death, which he was. After a brutal, clumsy struggle on the concrete floor, Gilles managed to roll under the door and sprint into the night. He was alive, obviously traumatized, so much so that he didn't go to the police right away. He was embarrassed.
Yeah.
He had been catfished, attacked, and he made an escape that barely saved his life. Being embarrassed about being fooled online does, honest to God, keep a lot of people quiet.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
I mean, think about Manti Te'o.
Yeah,
like
that's
that
true.
poor guy was catfished to the end. That was such a sad thing.
Story, yeah.
It's such a horrible thing for somebody to go through.
Right.
Like you think about it, oh, it's not a big deal. Like they were faking whatever, but you don't realize the emotional attachment that people get with one another. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, think about this. Gilles thinks, I finally made a break with this beautiful woman.
I know.
It's on this
So
dating
excited to
website.
have
It
a
should
date.
be
Yeah.
vetted. It should be fine.
Right.
And then, no.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
man.
I can say from experience that those dating websites, no bueno.
Yeah, especially Christian Mingle. Don't go there.
Oh yeah, that was the worst. That was the worst. Oh my gosh.
We know exactly what Twitchell was thinking after Gilles escaped because he wrote it down in a digital diary on his laptop titled SK Confessions, which was a real thing. He was Serial Killer Confessions. He didn't write about guilt at all.
Oh,
None of
no.
it was apologetic.
Yeah.
He didn't write about fear, didn't write about the police.
It was just a fun story for him.
He wrote it like a director critiquing a very bad take. He noted that he needed to be faster and more decisive. He complained about the stun gun being unreliable. And to Mark, Gilles Tetreault wasn't a human being who he nearly killed. He was a failed shoot.
Dang.
Yeah.
So this guy, I'm trying to remember, he didn't come forward until after the murder, right? Because he recognized the similarities and then thought he should, and then that's when they were able to match his story to what they found. But he didn't come forward until after that, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
So 1 week later on October 10th, Mark went back to the set with a revised script in his mind. He got back on Plenty of Fish and he found a new target, a 38-year-old pipe fitter named Johnny Altinger. This time, Mark had it up in his mind that he would not let this guy walk off set.
Poor Johnny.
Exactly. That was so sad. On October 10th, Johnny Altinger, he followed a set of email directions to the same Edmonton garage, expecting a date with the beautiful woman named Jen. But Johnny did something Gilles hadn't. He told his friends where he was going.
Okay, so that was for real.
He even forwarded the directions, joking that if he didn't come back, they'd know where to look.
Dang.
It was a joke that saved the investigation and likely saved other lives.
Yeah, because if they hadn't found that place, they would have nowhere to go.
Right, exactly.
Wow.
After Johnny walked into that garage, he vanished, but his email account didn't. His friends soon received bizarre messages claiming he'd met an extraordinary woman and was flying to Costa Rica on a whim. The email said he'd quit his job and wouldn't be back until December. Again, to anybody else, it might have worked, but Johnny's friends knew him, and they knew he wasn't impulsive, he hated tropical heat, and most importantly, he would never leave without his passport. When his friends broke into his condo and found his passport, his shaving kit, dirty dishes in the sink, they knew the man sending the emails wasn't Johnny.
Yeah.
They went straight to the police, handing them the one piece of evidence Twitchell hadn't counted on, which was the address to the garage. So when Detective Bill Clark first sat down with Twitchell, he didn't act like a killer. He acted like a helpful, albeit eccentric filmmaker. He told a story that was so ridiculous it's literally laughable. He claimed that he'd met a man by chance who was running off to Costa Rica with a wealthy, beautiful woman, and that this man had sold Mark his red Mazda for exactly $40
That's
cash.
right. Yes, because they caught him driving his red. It was like a red convertible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Detective Clark confronted Mark about the alarming amount of blood found in the garage, he didn't even flinch. He stayed as the director with calm confidence.
Yeah, break character.
And he told the detectives, that's just prop blood. He explained that he had been filming a scene for his new movie, House of Cards, where a victim is butchered. He claimed he'd used a high-end mixture of corn syrup and food coloring, bragging about how realistic his special effects were.
Does he not know about DNA testing?
He even suggested the police were being silly for not recognizing a movie set when they saw one.
Wow, this guy is really
but the
cocky.
Rookie mistake was realizing that real blood and stage blood have entirely different chemical signatures, and luminol doesn't glow for corn syrup.
Right.
At least go with pig blood, dude.
Yeah,
like,
a type of blood at least. Yeah.
Exactly.
Idiot.
I broke into a bank and I stole a few bags.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to give anybody ideas here.
Yeah.
When forensic analysts tested the props, they didn't find food coloring. They found the DNA of Johnny Altinger. Twitchell was losing control of his script that he had in his head, and the more that it went awry, the more frazzled he ended up becoming. Police found Johnny's blood in the trunk of Twitchell's car and on his clothing. On Halloween morning 2008, while Mark was at his parents' house putting the finishing touches on a costume...
Oh,
yeah.
This is perfect timing.
Yeah. The tactical team came in and nabbed him.
Badass.
The man who dreamed of being a dark Jedi in Dexter was so terrified that, according to Detective Clark, he actually wet his pants during the arrest.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a little different when it's real life, right?
He didn't think he needed a diaper for that costume.
God. But I mean, okay, so this is a 30-something year old with a wife and child.
Right.
And you're at your parents' house.
Making a Halloween costume.
Making a costume.
Yeah, probably for himself. Because the wife probably had to deal with the baby's costume.
Oh, gosh. That baffles me.
Yeah.
I mean...
He obviously has some serious issues.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So just days after the murder, Twitchell messaged Renee Waring, a woman from Ohio that Twitchell met on a Dexter fan page. Mm-hmm. He messaged saying, "Suffice it to say that I crossed the line on Friday and I liked it."
Oh, that's where that was posted. That's right. Yes.
He communicated with her while using a Facebook profile under the name Dexter Morgan. Mm-hmm. This provides direct proof of his immediate boastful reaction to the killing.
Yeah.
And when Renee saw the news of his arrest on Halloween, she did not stay silent. She immediately contacted the Edmonton police and handed over months of chat logs.
Good.
Her testimony was a turning point. While Mark's lawyers tried to argue that Johnny's death was a tragic accident or self-defense during a prank,
Okay.
Renee's message proved a very different story.
Yeah, he'd been building up to this for a long time.
She described a man who wasn't method acting for a film, he was method acting for a murder. The fact that he told a stranger in another country that he liked crossing the line destroyed any claim of remorse.
And that was the night of or the next day? Yeah.
This was just days after.
Yeah.
It showed the jury that for Mark Twitchell, the death of Johnny wasn't a mistake. It was a long-awaited debut as a real-life monster and the actual fruition of the serial killer wannabe that Mark was trying
And
to
he
become.
certainly would have continued killing if he hadn't gotten caught by his own stupidity.
The final nail in the coffin was found on Mark's laptop, and that's the deleted 40-page document titled SK Confessions, and it was a play-by-play of the murder detailing the bludgeoning, the stabbing, and the dismemberment of Johnny.
Oh, so it wasn't left at the scene, but it was
They
on
did
his
find it,
computer.
yeah.
Okay.
Twitchell tried to claim it was just a fictional screenplay based on his own quote-unquote method acting, a story he called Maple, multi-angle psychosis layering entertainment, trying to be,
Maple.
artsy. Yeah.
That's kind of fitting for Canada.
I knew you were going to go there.
Did you?
Yeah. I want to take a second to note that the laptop containing his SK Confessions was not a sleek professional computer that you would expect from a ambitious filmmaker. It was a generic laptop covered in Spider-Man stickers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I just want to let that linger real quick for this guy who thinks he's this, badass serial killer wannabe who
very
literally wet his
serious.
pants.
Yeah. When he got arrested.
He probably wet Spider-Man undies too.
Ay, ay, ay.
This is not like a methodical, aesthetic that you would think of when you think of a serial killer to come in there and find Spider-Man stickers on a
cheap generic
shitty
laptop.
laptop.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just
Yeah. You're
this
supposed
guy.
to be some big deal up and coming director or whatever. Yeah.
So you can clearly see the line of when things started to fall apart and he didn't get the career that he wanted.
Yeah.
How he started to kind of go in this different route and
He
make
just wants
excuses.
attention
Exactly.
somehow,
That's
some
what
way.
he wanted. And it's just pathetic.
Yeah.
It's absolutely pathetic. And the poor guy, Johnny, did not deserve that.
No.
So the most chilling part of this story isn't the kill room, it's the nursery.
What? The baby's nursery?
While Mark was scouting locations for a murder, he was also changing diapers. He would come home from a night of stalking victims, kiss his wife, and tuck in his 8-month-old daughter.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
so to Jess, he was a struggling artist trying to provide for his family. She had no idea that the quote-unquote film set her husband was so dedicated to was actually a slaughterhouse in the making. And when police finally knocked on their door in St. Albert, the mask didn't just slip, it absolutely shattered. Jess filed for divorce almost immediately after the arrest,
Good.
realizing the man she loved was just another character that he had invented.
Yeah. She had no idea who he actually was.
Yeah, exactly.
Poor thing.
And so while he was in a courtroom trying to convince a jury that he was just a misunderstood artist, his real life in St. Albert was being dismantled. And the man who spent years crafting a family man persona, the new father who tucked his daughter in at night, was finally exposed as a fraud on every level. During the investigation and subsequent trial, it wasn't just the kill room that came to light, it was his habitual infidelity.
Oh.
Detectives revealed that Mark hadn't just been leading a double life as a killer, he had been cheating on his wife Jess for months. He had been carrying on an affair with an ex-girlfriend using his late nights on the film set as a cover for his trysts.
What do you think it was the Spider-Man stickers that attracted her?
I think it was the Spider-Man undies.
Yeah.
So for Jess, the revelation was a total betrayal, right? She realized that every extra hour he spent on the garage wasn't just about his movie or his victims. It was about his complete disregard for her and their child.
Yeah, you're abandoning your wife and child, one, to have an affair, which is horrible in itself, but then also so you can stop victims so you can kill them? That's disgusting.
Abhorrent.
Yeah.
And so she didn't wait for the trial to even finish. She filed for divorce and had the marriage was officially dissolved shortly after his arrest.
And I
she
hope
was
that
done.
he had nothing to do with his child ever again. That poor baby doesn't deserve that.
Yep. And so by the time the judge handed down his life sentence, Mark had nothing left. No production company, no fan base on the Star Wars forums, and no family. The man who was obsessed with his own legacy was legally erased from the lives of the people who actually had loved him. He entered the Saskatchewan Federal Penitentiary and as a man who peed his pants.
I hope they made him wear a sign that said, I peed my pants when I got arrested.
Scare easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Twitchell's writing shifted from sci-fi arrogance to a chillingly detached philosophical tone after his arrest. These are quotes, many from letters to investigative journalist Steve Lillibuen, who provide a direct window into his lack of remorse. Mm-hmm. He expressed a savage glee at what he saw as public hypocrisy. I find the whole thing highly hypocritical. There's something obtuse about someone taking a savage glee and watching psychotics brutally murder dozens of people on TV and then suddenly playing as though their stomach is turning inside out when this happens in real life in an isolated incident.
That's a quote that he said?
Yes.
Jeez.
His mantra in one of his most infamous statements regarding his identity and crimes, he simply said, "It is what it is, and I am who I am."
But nobody knows who you are.
Exactly,
that's the thing.
Exactly. You don't even know
It is
who
what
you
it
are.
is, and I am who I am. And one day I'll figure that out.
Yeah. I am what I am.
Yeah.
So if you
Would you
listen
like
to
some
his
spinach?
Exactly. If you listen to his words, you hear a man who never stopped being the director or trying to be the guy who's directing everybody's thoughts, right?
Yeah, that thing about the car, like he's literally driving around in this guy's car. Did you think you weren't going to get caught at some point?
Exactly. I mean, come on, man. In April 2011, nearly 3 years after the garage door closed for the last time, Twitchell finally took the stand in an Edmonton courtroom. For 18 days, the jury watched as the man who wanted to be this famous director tried to direct his own defense. He didn't deny killing Johnny. Instead, he claimed the entire thing was a tragic accident of self-defense. By the way, Twitchell has a large tattoo of the Rebel Alliance crest on his arm, which he displayed proudly in court.
What an idiot. Was he representing himself or did he have an attorney? Because if his attorney let him get on the stand, I mean, obviously it's always up to the client.
I'm pretty sure he had an attorney, but I think his controlling attitude made it seem this way. Yeah. I'll have to double check that.
I'm sure. I mean, obviously if he wants to go on the stand, his attorney can tell him, I don't advise it all he wants to, and he can still do it. It's his right. But.
So during this whole proceedings, he told the court that he had only lured Johnny to the garage as a publicity stunt, a hoax intended to create a viral buzz for his film House of Cards. According to Mark, Johnny became enraged when he realized the date wasn't real and the woman was actually a man, and he attacked him. Mm-hmm. Mark's story was that he was just a method actor whose performance had gone horribly wrong. This is what prosecution called pathological and insulting.
Yeah, for real. So let me get this straight. You lured the guy in as a publicity stunt. He got upset, fought you. You killed him, and then you decided it would be a great idea to clean it up, steal his car, and go on about your life?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just for viral.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just to go viral.
But I mean, at that point, what are you going to do? Might as well just take his car and go on.
Exactly. So the Crown prosecutor, Avril Inglis, didn't let the director she did not let him direct or control the narrative.
Good.
She systematically tore him apart. She pointed to the 42-page diary found on his laptop, which detailed the murder and clinical pre-planned steps.
Yeah.
Inglis famously asked him, because of your savant inspiration for your project, you just happen to have all the tools lying around to dismember a body? She was referring to the big game processing kit, saws, hooked knives that were all found in the garage that were covered in Johnny's DNA.
Whoa.
The most chilling moment, however, was the evidence the jury didn't see, a second deleted document called A Profile of a Psychopath. In it, the author, Twitchell, analyzed his own mind, admitting, I habitually lied my entire life. I always apologize, but I never meant it.
Whoa.
Yeah. And the jury did not need long to see through his BS. After only 5 hours of deliberation, they returned with a verdict of guilty of first-degree murder.
5 hours? That seems like a long time. They were in there just eating lunch like, okay, we can't make this too quick, guys.
Honestly, like, let's make him sweat it out.
Yeah.
You know? Let's make him change his Spidey-Man undies.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get him to pee his pants before we go back in.
Yeah. As the word guilty echoed through the room, Johnny's mother Elfriede broke into tears.
Aw.
In her victim impact statement, she didn't ask for the death penalty. Instead, she said she wanted Twitchell to die a slow death every day of his life while reflecting on what he'd done.
What she want?
Mark Twitchell, the man who spent his life craving an audience, was led away in absolute silence. He was sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole for 25 years.
Ooh, you know what? He was probably expecting applause as he walked out of the room.
Oh, I'm sure he was. Egotistical, freaking
Psycho.
sociopath.
Yeah.
His attempt at an appeal was absolutely abandoned in 2012, bringing a final dark end to his story. In 2013, he famously bought a television for his cell so he could finally catch up on the episodes of Dexter that he'd missed.
Oh my God.
Later, he joined Canadian Inmates Connect, a dating site for prisoners, still using his Logan persona that he would use on his old Star Wars forums.
Wait, there's a dating. Wait, I'm sorry. Canada. What's wrong with you?
Hey, it's like the same people who sent fan mail to
I know all the
name a serial killer who was in prison.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, they all had freaking weirdos.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if
Some
you
of them
send
got
fan
married
mail,
while they were in
that's
jail.
bizarre.
I know.
Those are people who should just be like directly looked at. Like, what is
Right. We intercepted your letter and we're going to go ahead and send you straight over here for an evaluation.
Yeah. By the way, your letter is being hand delivered by a psychologist who is going to evaluate you.
Here's your white jacket.
Protect the rest
Give yourself
of us.
a hug.
Yeah, exactly. Hug yourself and
Oh my
stay in the corner.
gosh, yeah, that is crazy. So did he meet anybody?
I'm not sure. Gilles Tetreault decided he was going to reclaim the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote his own book, The One Who Got Away, turning his trauma into a tool for others, trying to help them.
Yeah.
In the end, Twitchell lost his career, his family, his freedom, and he's exactly where he should be in the dark with no one left to watch.
Yes.
I will say that Gilles went on to do, some speaking engagements and to tell the story and kind of overcame, the trauma and embarrassment that he felt after that had happened.
Yeah.
Following 2011, he was moved into the Canadian federal prison system, and he is currently serving his life sentence at the Saskatchewan Federal Penitentiary. Under Canadian law, a first-degree murder conviction carries a mandatory 25-year period before any possibility of parole.
Yeah.
Meaning
they're very lenient over there.
He's going to remain ineligible for parole until 2033. So
that's coming up.
Well, but still.
But then they have to still decide. Yeah.
Exactly. After his conviction, the world began to know him by his new title, the Dexter Killer.
Yeah.
It was just a media invention rooted in the chilling evidence of his own obsession.
Mm-hmm.
Investigators documented how he used the television series Dexter as a literal blueprint, recreating the fictional kill room, complete with plastic sheeting and a processing table inside the rented garage.
Yeah.
And so for nearly 2 years, this cloud hung over the case because Johnny's body had not been found.
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask you that.
That changed in June of 2010. While awaiting trial, Twitchell provided a handwritten map to his lawyers. This map led detectives to a sewer manhole just blocks away from his rented garage where Johnny's remains had been discarded. That was the final grim piece of physical evidence that ended any hope for just a movie defense.
Yeah.
And today, the Twitchell case is studied globally by forensic psychologists and criminologists. It has become a landmark example of fantasy immersion, exploring the dangerous intersection where media influence and a narcissistic need for fame collide with criminal behavior.
Yeah.
It has been the subject of numerous books like The Devil's Cinema and documentaries that attempted to answer one question: how does a suburban filmmaker decide to become the monster he was supposed to be filming?
Yeah, that's crazy. Man.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't believe at the end you flipped it around on part one.
I know. I made my guess, and then I was like, you know what this sounds like?
That was a hard one to try to pull off. I will say
you
this
did
one
throw
took
a
me
lot
while.
of good stuff in there in the beginning that really made me, because honestly, I was leaning totally towards Dexter Killer until you threw in the friends information, and then I was like, oh.
Because my mind went to, okay, you've got friends who go to check on this guy's apartment.
Yeah.
They have all of this evidence, but as if I was to go back and look inside that apartment trying to find clues, now it's, contaminated because you all broke in.
Right.
You're all over the place. You know? And so that's kind of where I decided to go with it. And in every part 2, we try to highlight an organization that can help people. And today's is againstscams.org. They are a global nonprofit organization that assists, supports, educates, and advocates for victims of cyber-enabled crimes, particularly those targeted by relationship scams. The SCARS Institute focuses on helping to educate victims while working to detect, deter, and ultimately eliminate online scams in all forms. The primary mission of SCARS Institute is to help scam victims recover from the trauma of the crime and reduce their risk of being victimized again.
Yeah.
The organization also educates the public about cyber-enabled crimes, including socially engineered scams, to prevent further harm. Yeah.
I didn't know that existed.
Me either until I started doing some research
really cool.
on that. So againstscams.org. If you guys want to check it out, throw support their way. Send this to somebody who might have been catfished at some point, because hey, that stuff can affect you. So, so definitely share that out. And the notes will be down in the show notes. The link will be down in the show notes. So just scroll down. It'll be right there. The links to our socials are there. Patreon, everything is in there. Yeah. So yeah, hit us up at deadgiveawaypodcast@gmail.com if you have any suggestions, if you have a nonprofit you would like us to shout out, an organization like this. We're always looking for new ones to include. So just if you have something, send it our way. Yeah. That'd be really awesome. And so.
Okay. Wow.
That was the Dexter Killer.
A lot of information.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. Thanks for being here. And hey, be yourself. Don't try to be anybody else, because that's what this guy did. Yeah. And he obviously isn't loser.
You sound like such a grandma right there.
Did I sound like my mom?
Be yourself. Be true to who you are. Don't try to be anybody else.
Because you might end up being a serial killer.
Because you don't want to be
a failed serial
You don't want to be
killer.
a loser.
Well, you definitely don't want to pee your Spidey underwears.
Yeah. Your Spidey pantaloons. You don't want to.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, y'all have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
Yes.
And try not to pee yourself.